Alright, so 2 years into YouTube, and this is the first Glock 19 you have ever seen on our channel. Welcome guys, thank you so much for watching and everything that you guys do for us. That's right, first Glock 19 on our channel, 2-year anniversary, almost 10,000 subscribers. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for all the support you give us. And we're going to be bringing you the Glock 19 MOS today. There are so many videos on YouTube. We're 2 years into this. What could I possibly say about the Glock 19 that hasn't already been said, right? So with the MOS, this gives us something different to look at. It hopefully will make this a little bit more interesting for you guys. Keep in mind, this is a lot of work, so if you like what we do, destroy that like button, become a subscriber, and thank you guys for everything. We're going to talk about everything, and what you're going to get today is a perspective of somebody that is not a Glock fanboy. Oh my gosh, not a Glock fanboy. That's right, I am not a Glock fanboy. I came into this community 2 years ago, and with all the options out there, it's kind of hard to pick Glock for the first one. But 2 years later, of course, now I have a Glock 19, you know, so I'm going to give my objective opinion on this gun as not a Glock fanboy, as somebody that likes a lot of different kinds of guns. And we're going to get right into it. I'm going to show you everything from out of the box to the range, pros and cons and everything at it. And new shooters coming in, is this a gun that you should look at? Is this the most versatile gun on the planet? What are the pros and cons of this gun? And if you're used to this gun, should you add this one to your collection? So let's go ahead and get into this. As you can see, Glock did not update the box whatsoever as far as cramming this thing. You're going to get all your basic Gen 4 type of things. You're going to get, of course, your backstrap system with your little tool to push out the pin. You're going to get 3 15-round magazines. This is a really nice touch. I really like that. So really great there. You're going to get your little assist loader, your brush with your little rod, and then you're also going to get your stuff for your MOS system. Now, the actual optic I'm running, it does not come with an optic. The optic I'm running is the Burris Fastfire. I decided to do the installation video and review of the Burris Fastfire 3 separate. So we're going to do those separately from this video because you do have to do some special things to get this one to work, okay? But let's go ahead and take that little protector off. In the box, you're going to get 4 different plates. It's going to come just like that with a tool. Use your own tool, by the way, and 4 little screws, and then you're going to have instructions for which plate to use with different optics. All right, the Burris Fastfire 3 is not on here, but it does work, and I'll show that in our installation video later. But you're going to get your plates and all that kind of stuff. The way it's going to come right out of the box, it's going to basically look like a regular Glock 19, and it's going to have this little metal cover plate that's going to be on top just like that. It has your slide serrations that kind of run up, which is kind of a nice little touch. I like that they did that. And it's going to come with standard Glock sights as well. They're not suppressor height. They're not going to co-witness with an optic. So what I decided to do is go ahead and just upgrade the sights right off the bat. So that will not be a complaint of mine per se, like it has been with the 43 and the 42 that we've done in the past, okay? Went with Trijicon night sights, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the features you're going to get. Of course, this is just a regular Glock 19 at its heart. Proprietary rail right here. Tons of options for these guns, of course. Squared off trigger guard that is serrated there. Really nice undercut in the frame already from the factory. Slight finger grooves here in the front, oversized reversible Gen 4 magazine button, rough textured finish straight from Glock. Of course, you have your track system here for the back straps. So to change these, you'll just push that pin through and you'll slide whichever one you want into that track. Slide stop right here where you would expect it, slightly raised underneath it, takedown notches, and of course you have your nitrite finish. This one is made in Austria. They do make a lot of the Glocks here in the USA as well. So that is pretty cool. What makes this gun so special? That's what we're going to get into as well. As far as price on this guy, I've bought a lot of guns online. I'm going to let Miss Headshot show you up close on the gun here real quick. But I've bought a ton of guns online and I had the best buying experience that I have had to date. I bought this guy for $5.99 from SWVA Arms, and then the Burris Fastfire was another 200 bucks. I did not want to drop $500 on an optic, so anyways, I talked to a guy up there named Mark, and we started talking about different guns and things like that. Well, anyways, we mentioned the channel to him, and what he is going to do for you guys, this is so freaking cool. He is going to give you guys free shipping on any item, any gun, ammo, anything you want on the site. If you use the code HEG1987, there's a link down below in the description. If you guys buy anything from the link down in the description, you're also going to be helping our channel as well. So how cool is that? Free shipping on anything you want from the link down below. Just use that code at checkout. That is really awesome. I don't know of any other company that's willing to do that right off the bat. So very cool. Thank you guys for that. And they got the gun out to me quickly. So $5.99 for the gun. You're talking about another 60 bucks more compared to a regular Glock 19. If you don't have one, I think that is definitely worth it. Even if you don't have an optic, at least you have the option in the future. All right, let's go ahead and talk about some of the specs here real quick, and I'll show you in comparison where this gun fits. A lot of people call this the most versatile gun on the planet. We're going to get into that as well. But it is a really good size. As far as your specs here, really quick, 7.3 inches in overall length, 4.99 inches high. That is, of course, without the optic. 1.1 inches at its widest point. So it's not really a super wide pistol, even for the size. 4.01 inch barrel and 23.65 ounces unloaded. There's some subcompacts, you know, that are almost close to that weight. So Glock does a really good job as far as the weight to size capacity ratio. They really do perfect that, I believe. And around a 5.5 pound trigger pull. Let me show you in comparison to one of the guns that I really love. This is the 6 Hour subcompact. It's really a compact. But as you can see right there, if we put the back of the polymer frame against the Glock, they are almost the same length. And I can't show you with the optic as far as the length on them, but that's all the difference you have. Now keep in mind, the SIG is 12 rounds, the Glock is 15. So you have about an inch difference there from the end of the grip. So there you go. I mean, as you can see, the size of this gun really does lend well to a pretty versatile gun. As far as overall features, we talked about some of those. These sights right here, like I said, these are the Trijicon night sights. And quick review on these, I absolutely love them. I paid $150 for them. So I have, you know, we have $900 in this gun. It's not cheap. But of course you don't have to buy all the extras right out of the box. So that's one thing to consider. You know, if you buy this gun, then you get your optic, you upgrade your sights because it comes with standard Glock sights. You don't want that with an optic. You want to be able to co-witness with your red dot. We're not running a true co-witness, by the way. But you know, that's just something to keep in mind. All right, so we're going to show the trigger after the shooting part of the review, and I will actually show you the weight on it. But as far as the way the gun feels just initially right out of the box, this thing is so easy to rack. I really like that. Of course it is a bigger gun, but the slide serrations, they're not super aggressive, but they do the job. And with the red dot on there, it gives you definitely something good to hang on to. Of course you don't want to pull it from the front and all that kind of stuff, but let me go ahead and show you a breakdown here really quick. If you're not used to these are the easiest guns on the planet to break down. Make sure it's clear, pull your trigger, pull back on the slide just a little bit, and it comes right off. You have your Gen 4 polymer guide rod assembly. You can see it's your spring inside your spring right there. These had issues in the beginning, but they've resolved all that. And then of course your barrel. Polygonal rifling. So there we go. And of course we've seen guns like this. If you watch our channel, most of the guns, most of the pistols we've done are striker fired. And even though Glock didn't invent this, they really did perfect this kind of polymer frame striker fire pistol. And of course it's 2016. Almost everybody is doing this. Of course, you see your rails right there, your points of contact. Pretty basic stuff, right? So let's go ahead and get to some shooting. We have some really interesting points on this gun and pros and cons, so make sure you stick around. Hopefully you guys enjoy this. We'll see you guys in a minute. Alright, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that. We also did some red dot versus regular sight comparisons, and I want to show you some of that. There was my first group with the gun. That was with the red dot. I was trying to get it dialed in, of course, but not too bad at all. 15-yard headshot test. I actually did it 2 times. I did the first time was with 15 rounds. I kept hitting a little bit high. I did hit some of them. I think it was like 6 out of 15, but I took another, 6 or 7 rounds and dialed it in. And as you can see, very, very good shooter. Here was some red dot versus regular sight comparison. There was with the red dot, you know, not terrible, and there was with the regular sights. So it definitely takes some work getting used to that red dot. It's not as easy as you would think. Red dot again, combat, combat hits, self-defense hits, yes. But you can definitely see the grouping is definitely better with the regular sights. I just got to get used to it. Misses headshot with the Glock 19. Was hitting low. Actually, her first set of shots were the very first shots for that thing, and it was off. It was way off. You also you may have picked up on the sight coming loose. I don't know if we showed that or not, but that's why I had to. That's why we're going to do a separate installation video, because you got to dial the burris in a little bit. But anyways, it did come loose. We got it fixed, so that's not Mrs. Headshot's fault right there. She cleaned it up a little bit right there. Glock 19 again. We did 2 range trips, so that's why we're showing so many targets. Mrs. Headshot right there, and then you can see my shots right in there. Again, Mrs. Headshot. She actually used the red dot over here and the regular sights over here. So there we go. Again, 7 yards, another dead zombie. This was some quick shooting that I was doing. Double taps and things like that. That was actually pretty good. So there you go, Mrs. Headshot. Again, grouping is good. We needed to move it down a little bit. So there you go. As you can see, the gun is a shooter. One more. This was with the red dot. All right, and actually, I think I shot better with the red dot this time compared to the regular optic. Mrs. Headshot. There you go. She shot better with the regular sights. So as you can see, the gun is a shooter. There is no doubt about that. All right, let me go ahead and show you the trigger here really quick. Of course, you can do anything you want with these triggers, these guns. You can change almost every part on here, but this is just a bone stock trigger. You have the safe action little dingus right there. All right, you hit a pretty nice wall here, and then you're going to have a pretty clean break. I mean, the trigger out of the box is not bad at all, and then you have a very audible and tactile reset. Very clicky. One more time, all the way out, you hit the wall, and it breaks. So not bad at all as far as the trigger. The trigger is, actually pretty good. All right, let me go ahead and show you the weight on it really quick. Glock on their 42 and 43 estimated at 5.5 pounds. They were way off on that one, but on this one they're actually pretty close. I think we put around 350 or 400 rounds to this gun. We honestly did have a good time shooting it. So let's go ahead and see what this thing pulls at here really quick. 6.5 pounds. That's about what I was getting before. Try it again here. 5.15 pounds. Oh, 6 pounds. So there you go. It's right in that range. So as far as the way the gun shoots and handles, I really like it. I really like the way it shoots. I really like the way it fires. Of course, with the red dot optic. Let me show you that real quick with the actual sights here. Okay. All right, so you can see the red dot there. It looks a little weird through the actual camera, but as you can see your sights there. You can see the red dot. I don't have it as a true co-witness with that front sight. Because I don't really like that. I think it defeats the purpose, to be honest with you. But you know, that's how I have it set up, I guess a lower third. This is our first time using optics, so we're pretty new to this, so it's something we definitely have to get used to. Go ahead and turn that off. So there you go. Let's talk about pros and cons. Let's go ahead and get right into it. As far as the pros, like we talked about, the weight to size balance on this gun is really good. 23.6 ounces in a small full-size gun. Of course, Glock considers this a compact. I guess in their line it's a compact, but it's really a small full-size gun, and they do a great job with weight to size capacity ratio. Decent trigger stock. I mean, the thing really does shoot very, very good out of the box. The MOS system is good. You know, with the plates, I think I would prefer if they drilled and tapped into the slide, but of course, you know, I don't know how many different configurations you could actually get from that. So with the plates, you have more options, but when you get the right setup, it actually wasn't a problem. So it would be more secure in the slide, but we didn't have any issues after we got this one set up right. 3 mags is awesome. The aftermarket support is absolutely fantastic. You know, Glock is #1, especially in that. Very versatile gun, home defense, range, and even carry. A lot of people carry this gun, and I can see why. I mean, it's 30 ounces loaded up. Just a great overall balance. As far as cons, let's go ahead and talk about that. The grip angle may be a little weird for some people. Now, I'm not one of those people that regurgitates things that I hear all the time. You know, you always hear about grip angle and bore axis and all this kind of stuff. I don't regurgitate that because I feel like if I'm going to get better, if I'm going to be a good shot, I'm going to be able to shoot any gun that I have out in front of me decent. All right, so the grip angle may be a little weird, the finger grooves may be a little weird. You can get used to it. It's not a problem. But for some people, it may be an issue. MOS system, like I said, as far as with the Fastfire 3 and the way it was set up, I don't see it being a problem now that we got everything set up right. I haven't heard of any issues. But with the plates, you may have some issues until you get it set up right. Maybe. Not really a con. It's just one of those things I wanted to mention. And as far as the price on the MOS, the gun itself is not bad. The optic isn't bad. And even the sights aren't bad. But when you put it all together, if you're going to buy it all at one time, it may be too expensive for some people. It may turn some people off, but don't let it. I mean, if all you have money for is to buy the gun itself, do that. And then, you know, add your sights and your optic later. People are going to add sights and stuff to these things anyway, so that's already in cost you're probably going to incur because most people don't like the stock Glock sights. So just keep that in mind. So now this begs the question, why is Glock so popular? What is the big deal with the Glock 19, the Glock 26? What's the big deal with Glock in general? From my take on it, they are the best at size to weight to capacity ratio. I don't think anybody does it better, to be honest with you. They are reliable, and they have been reliable for 25, 30 years, whatever it's been. And they are proven through many, many years, many, many examples. I don't need to tell you guys that, but that's why. They're built on this reputation of reliability and all this kind of stuff. Now to hurt a few people's feelings. This is not the only show in town. I love it when I see people say Glock perfection, Glock perfection, and Glock perfection, and then they change 95% of the gun. They change the guide rod, they upgrade the trigger, they change the internals, they upgrade the sights, they cut down the frame, they remove the finger grooves, they undercut the slide, they change the grip angle, and then they say Glock perfection. It doesn't make a lot of sense. You know, you can't change 95% of the gun and then say that it's perfect because you had to do a lot of, you bought another gun basically to do all those things. Now what people do with their own money, this is America, and whatever you want to do with your hard-earned money, if this is the only gun you ever buy and you want to change everything about it, man, go ahead, I'm all for it. But you can't say Glock perfection if you change 99% of the gun. So, it is not perfect, but for me, from what I see, I don't like doing that stuff. That's not me. When I can buy a P320, a PPQ, an M&P, and have most of those things right out of the box, that's what I look at. And when I first came onto the into the community, that's what I was looking at. I mean, it's 2016. Almost every major manufacturer has a striker-fired polymer frame pistol, and most of them you don't hear of any issues whatsoever. Now, they're not as established. They're not as many examples and years and years and years of constant reliability and things like that. And some of them aren't as reliable, but most of them pretty much are. So there's a ton of different options out there. You know, and the thing is that a lot of people from the mid 90s, from the early 90s to the 2000s, you got to think there wasn't a whole lot of competition for Glock. But now, you know, 25, 30 years later, there is. So there's a lot of options to look at. But with all that being said, don't discount this gun. I think everybody should have one in their collection because they're so versatile. You can get your 33 round mags. You know, if something were to happen, you know, an apocalypse type of situation, there's going to be tons of Glock mags out there. Police use them. They are trusted, and there is a reason for it. So don't discount them. But if somebody tells you, hey, the Glock 19 is the only gun you ever need, or the first gun, or whatever, and that's just based on pure, you know, feelings from them that Glock is the only show in town, that is not the case. You got to look at other options, but don't discount this one, because it is a good option. Aftermarket support for the Glock is king. You can do anything you want to, like we talked about. You heard it here first. This is just purely my feeling, but I feel like with Glock, they've come out with the 43. They have their single stack 9. They're doing the MOS system. I feel there's a Gen 5 version in the works. Within the next year or two, I feel there's a Gen 5 version coming out. You heard it here first. Now, I may be completely wrong, but I'm just throwing that out there. I think they are working on something. We actually took a couple friends of ours to the range. They want to get into this. They want to, you know, protect their family. Glock 19. There's a few shots from my buddy Mike. Here's the rest of his shots. Here's a new group from him. I think that was with the regular sights. That is really good shooting. Even with the screwed up grip angle, he was able to shoot this gun just fine. So we have covered a ton. I hope that you guys have stuck around to the end. We're gonna go and wrap this thing up. You know, my biggest thing is I don't want to change the entire gun. I'm not into that, and a lot of people are, and that's why they love these things so much. But that's not me. You can literally change anything on this gun, and you know, that's a great appeal to it. But this is a great platform if you want to do it. If you're looking at home defense, carry even down the road, range time, this gun is absolutely fantastic. If you're new to shooting, like I said, don't discount this gun, because there is a lot of great things that this gun will offer you. And I feel like everybody should at least have one in their collection. Heck, maybe even two, to be honest with you. I still have the 43. This gun, I can definitely see why people love Glock after shooting and spending some time with this gun. This is the most, this is one of the most fun that I've had shooting and reviewing a gun, because I know the history behind them. I know that so many people cherish this thing. And with the red dot, it really adds another challenge to it. You know, we're getting better, and we continue to, you know, try to do the things. You know, a lot of y'all have left us comments and suggestions. People online, you know, some people I don't even know have helped us in our shooting abilities, and this adds another layer to it. As far as concealed carry, this one you have to turn on and off. So you know, in a stressful situation, are you going to hit this thing and remember to turn it on? Probably not. That's why I definitely suggest getting some sights that will co-witness with that, so you don't have to worry about it. So, like I said, this is a great option. I absolutely love it. We're going to definitely keep this one in the collection. I think everybody should have one. If you're new to the game, make sure that you look at this and look at other options as well. But for me, there's a lot of Glock 19s out there. This one is mine, and it is definitely sticking around. I like to get a holster for it, carry it, and see how I like it, you know, as far as carrying it as well. So that's it, guys. That's what we have. There's the Glock 19 MOS. Stay tuned for some comparison work we're going to be doing with this gun. Make sure, again, you guys destroy that like button. Become a subscriber. Thank you guys for everything. And here's to another good year, 2 years, 10 years on YouTube. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one. And as always, hold them down.